got a couple of people that I didn't like that intro.
You didn't? I liked it.
Were you just like vibing out to it?
I was just about to ask if you changed it up.
I didn't do that. Well, obviously you told me to do the 30 seconds, so y'all didn't have to wait 2 minutes of us just waiting. But that little song was attached to the 30-second countdown thing. I didn't do that.
I see. I see what happened.
That's why there was multiple songs being played at once.
I was wondering. I was checking my screen everywhere, trying to see if I had left something open, because it's usually me.
No, that was me. Kind of.
We are back again.
Back again.
Mike and Sammy in the house. We had a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to get ahead of the gun here, but 2027 is looking pretty badass. We still got half of the year left here, so that's why I'm saying I shouldn't be getting ahead of myself, but I can't help it. I'm so excited for all of the things that are in the books for us in 2027.
Yeah, you've been in planning mode.
I have been in planning mode. Well, we found a rhythm here that I think has been really good.
Yeah.
I've been planning trips, and Sammy's been editing videos.
That's the
and
teamwork.
It's working out really well.
Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Teamwork makes the dream work. We've been dropping content every day, 3 times a day, pieces of content from stuff on all the different social platforms, which I think is pretty cool. And that's increasing to 5 pieces of content a day being pushed out. We're getting videos out now like every couple weeks. And yeah, that's increasing. We're working on plans to increase all that. And yeah, it's exciting because we just got so much cool stuff that we're sitting on and we want to get it out to everybody. So
much cool stuff. Well, we haven't even been on since we released our Japan video.
I know. Right? Yeah. That's true. We've also had, tough stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's kind of made the last couple of weeks hectic, but yeah. It seems like everybody really enjoyed that video. I know I did.
Me too. Yeah, really
cool.
Thank you for watching the video, Anthony. I would say that they liked Mike more than they liked me. I definitely got rejected a couple times.
Hey, Rue.
You definitely got more bows.
I did, but I also got attacked and got a deer with shitty hooves smearing deer poop all over my bag. I had to bonk him on the head.
Funny.
Sam was like, "No, don't bonk him." I was like, "Dude, he's about to get bonked."
Well, there's like a moment when I'm trying to get the crackers that they're like grabbing at my pants and my belt and trying to eat me, like eat my clothes, and I just like I don't know, like what's the word I'm trying to say, like muscle, like involuntary response, like
muscle
I just
memory?
like not met like just involuntary like defensive action. I just kind of swiped down, and I didn't know that I did that until I watched the video, and I was like, it looks like I'm trying to punch a deer in the face.
Well, they were being pretty aggressive.
Right? It was so it doesn't look that overwhelming in the video, but that was very overwhelming.
Yeah, they chased you. They almost chased you into the tunnel.
Yeah, everyone else around me is like just getting avoided. They were locked on to me.
The lady was like, go away from her cracker table.
Yeah, she was not having it. This right here. Look at him. See,
yeah, there she is. She's telling you to get away. She's like, get out of here before they start trying to get all my shit.
Yeah, she She had a system. She knew. What a
Yeah,
weird job. What a weird job to be the deer cracker lady. The deer cracker stand lady. What
she
a
gets up
niche
every day
experience.
before the sun. She's out doing Tai Chi in the park. And then she
You think?
has her
She was
rice.
not patient. She didn't have Tai Chi patience, in my
She
opinion.
was pretty well, she's
She
getting that
was,
money, man.
yeah, she was hustling.
If you did on average, that line was never not full. Where does she get
No,
so many crackers? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't research that part for the video. Where does the lady get the crackers from?
These are the tough things
These are
to
the
dig into,
important things
guys.
to know. I did read that they were like they're regulated, like the ingredients are regulated. So they're definitely she's not just like making them in her kitchen. That's for sure.
That we
I,
know
I
of.
mean, that we know of. I don't know. Maybe her kitchen is being regulated by the state. That if that's
It was cool. We just went there for, what do you think? We were there for an hour or two, maybe an hour.
yeah.
It's like an hour's, well, probably over an hour, but um, yeah, it doesn't take, an hour of feeding deer crackers is plenty.
Yeah, I think that there were some sites around that area that we probably should have, we just went there. We didn't research anything about the area really. So I think afterwards I realized that there were some kind of temples and sites and things that we missed
Yeah,
that
there.
would have probably been cool to see, but I don't know. We were on a mission. We had to get back to Osaka to do this and meet up with everyone for dinner. I really liked Shinsekai
That's right.
too. This whole like what do you call that? Like a not carnival, circusy vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it was very Vegas feeling.
You think?
Yeah, lots of lights
Retro.
and half sized monuments like the Eiffel Tower and things like that.
But like all the games and stuff, like it kind of felt like a permanent fair. Like
Yeah.
a
I mean, that's what Vegas feels like to me. It just feels like an adult playground.
yeah, but it's a little bit seedier. Like Vegas is like this still had I feel like this had more of like an but like a retro childlike nostalgia to it. I feel like Vegas is more I mean it is literally called Sin City for a reason, I think.
We'll be in Vegas in less than a week.
Yeah, we're going to Vegas.
We'll be in Vegas at the meetup with Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and
Yeah.
everybody there. The big meetup we're doing in Vegas. So we'll be there. So if you guys see us, come say hello. I expect to see people we know. That'll be a lot of fun.
I hope so. It'll be fun. That'll be my first time being in Vegas as an adult.
Really?
Yeah. I only have ever been to Vegas as a child,
Yeah,
which is
the
weird.
more I've been to Vegas, the less I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun.
I'll
Fun life.
I'll share something with you. I really don't want to share this with you, but because this is back when I was still just getting just
You're gonna
messed up all
share
the time.
you're gonna
And
share with the whole internet. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna put it on Facebook. I'm gonna clip this.
oh god,
I'm gonna blast it.
maybe I
I'm
won't
just
share it.
kidding. I won't do that. No, it's too late. You have to now.
Oh god, I was playing blackjack. I mean, I was not blackjack. I was on a slot machine or one of the games, and I noticed that it was not paying outright. And so I caught this machine, like whatever, and I was ordering doubles of scotch while I was there, right? So I was given, tips fairly often. Usually they don't always come back that quickly. And I'm just putting them down. And they came over and fixed the machine, and I had all these winnings that the machine was stealing from me. They ended up shutting the machine down because it was like paying me too much. Something was wrong with the machine. But I had too many scotches or whatever by then, and I'm wasted. And I'm walking by, and there's like this private area. I don't know. It was like this club, but had like this VIP outdoor thing. And I just topped this boundary and went over there and bypassed security. And so I'm like hanging out. And by the way, I don't remember any of this. I had to be told this. And I was hanging out there for a while, apparently. And before they realized what was going on, and then I got kicked out, and I got stopped by security. I ended up getting completely kicked out of the hotel that I was in. Escorted off the property.
Just for causing problems?
Yeah, then I just went.
Like causing a scene?
Yeah, and then I went and bought like a bottle of liquor. I'm walking around in the streets with like some homeless dude, like sympathizing with them. I kind of remember that. I guess I passed out somewhere. I woke up in a hospital on IV hydrating me, and my phone was dead, so I couldn't call an Uber.
Well, this is like a different lifetime for you.
Yeah, it was rugged.
A different version of you.
It was really rugged. And I ended up staying in
classy.
Yeah, it was so classy. And I ended up getting a motel room, like the shitty motel room right next to the highway. And I was in a penthouse, like I was in a suite thing.
Prior to getting kicked out?
Yeah. So nice. It was like splurged weekend.
Were you by yourself?
No, I was with my ex. I was like a getaway for us. So yeah, very, very, very gross.
Did she get to stay in the hotel? And
she could have.
Like you just got kicked out?
She could have. She came to the motel. I seriously downgraded our vacation. Yeah, I was not. I was a handful. I was more than a handful. So gross. That was my last time in Vegas. Yeah. I don't know how many years ago that was.
That sounds like a long time ago. Quintessential Vegas experience.
Oh, yeah. It was like a hangover. Yeah.
Except less like, I don't know, like monkey wild animals. Don't they find like a monkey in the wild animals and like
I don't think
you didn't have a naked Asian
there's
guy
a good, like,
jump on your face.
8 hours missing there, so could have been some monkeys involved. There's definitely some monkey business. Huh? Huh?
Where's it? Do I even have a badunk-ching? We've gone over this, huh? I've got the drum roll bongos.
Yeah.
That counts. That works.
Enough. Close enough.
Close enough.
What are we talking about today? Other than
we're going to talk about the Vatican. Other than our dark, dark past that we've left behind.
Yeah.
We're both new and revived people.
Reformed hoodlums.
Reformed, yeah. I don't know. I'll always be a bit of a degenerate deep down inside. I told my therapist that one day. I was like, I am a degenerate. She was like, don't say that about yourself. I was like, I mean, it's true. It's just kind of a fact. Like I'm always gonna have a little bit of an inclination towards degeneracy.
Just spend your whole life trying to like rein that in.
Yeah, you can't be a bartender for 10 years and then not at some point, and then a weed grower and And now I'm a tattoo artist. I've done all the degenerate jobs.
Yeah.
It's fun. It stays interesting. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Vatican. We've done a bit of a deep dive. I've got some things. But you've been there.
I have been there. Let's say what's
What was
up to
that
everybody in
like?
chat. Hey guys, there's a lot of good faces in here.
Hi,
Anthony,
chat.
Rue, Rebecca.
Yay,
What
yay,
is up, guys?
yay. Oh, hey, Pax. I didn't see you there.
Conference in Vegas is the Nerderotic meetup. Yes, Rue. So that'll be next week on Thursday, I think. Thursday or Friday? Thursday. Thursday's the meetup, which is the 6th, I believe. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep, the 6th. So if you guys are coming out, I'll see you there. It's gonna be fun.
And we won't do a redo of your last experience.
No.
We're not gonna
No,
drink
I won't.
scotch until we black out and get kicked out of our hotel.
I'm not doing that.
Ew, I cannot imagine drinking that much scotch. Scotch is disgusting.
I really liked it at one point. I just drink
Yes.
it straight with like maybe an ice cube.
Thank you, Rubate. You said the polite term is flawed. We discovered a few flaws also. Yeah, we all are a little bit. It's okay. Keeps things more interesting. Yeah, okay, so when did you go to the Vatican? How long ago was your trip?
It's been about 10 years. Yeah, somewhere between 8 to 10 years since I was there. And the Vatican, the Vatican, it's really interesting because, if you dive into theology and you're looking at religions and different stuff, the Vatican, Catholicism is often looked at as Christian, right? But it's not. They don't share. Catholicism isn't Christianity. They're not the same thing, right? So Protestants, Catholics, they don't share the same faith. They have different fundamental beliefs. And there's a lot of things when you walk into the Vatican, there's an expectation. The Bible talks about things like not having foreign idols or any idols or different types of the Vatican is full of idolatry. I mean, pieces from around the world on display all throughout the Vatican. Things from Egypt and all sorts of stuff like gods and goddesses, statues and things, and all types of sculptures and paintings and everything, right? So it's kind of a little shocking, like if you didn't know what to expect going in, if you weren't expecting that going in there, right? And so when I was walking through there at the time, I was hugely diving into stuff like symbolism and different things, and you'll see that on display there, statues, the pine cones, and there's obelisks, the main obelisk there in the square, which is actually, you can see on the map right there. That oval area to the right.
Oh, this little square.
Yeah.
Right here.
So the main obelisk there is right there in the center. And in a place of significance and prominence. So the Vatican's really, it's really something. It's really interesting. So we got in. One thing I like to do to get into places quicker is you can, buy at places like this, you can join a tour and you'll have a time slot and you get right in. If you're in a tour, you don't wait in the lines. So you can get in with the tour and then just leave the tour.
That's smart. Travel
Yeah.
hack tips.
Yeah. So it might be just a tad bit more expensive, but you get to skip the lines because the lines to places like the Vatican's are, I mean, around the block. They're
Fast.
just all day.
Huh.
So that's what we did. Handed off our little earphone that helped us hear the guide and just went off on our own. And yeah, you can spend a significant chunk of time in the Vatican walking around looking at things. But it is amazing.
I think in general that like this just level of architecture and that, I mean, I haven't been to Europe yet, so I just haven't even gotten to experience this, era of things. And the European ornamental architecture and murals, and it is so beautiful, but it is so contradictory and confusing and weird that it is wrapped in this uh cloak of Christianity, Catholicism, which just has so many contradictions.
It does. And the Vatican's interesting because all that you're talking about, the architecture and everything like that, it's all just jammed into this small area, the Vatican City, of just this, just everywhere you look is just amazing architecture, works of art, and things from just all over the world on display. Some interesting pieces. One of them's that famous giant bowl looking thing, which I got to walk around and look at, which is incredible. Glenlivet. Somebody was asking about the scotch. I think it was Glenlivet. I think that was my scotch, what I was drinking. Glenlivet 15, I think. Anyways.
There's a lot. Anthony says he took I can never say this wrong. Byzantine history.
Yeah, Byzantium.
Lots of let's say it with the accent. There's lots of artifacts they took from the Orthodox Church, but some of my best friends have been Catholic. Yeah, there's just seem a little bit of like crossover with Orthodoxy, right? Because there's just kind of an ornamental, more like Gothic vibe to Orthodox Christianity. Am I right about that?
I love that style, the Byzantine style, and like the paintings and different things from that time period. I mean, that's some of the stuff I was sending you for the tattoos that I was working on.
Yeah.
But it's amazing standing in a place like that and looking up at a dome like that. St. Peter's Basilica was incredible. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I have like I have like a little summary of what the Vatican is. I'm going to read this. So the modern Vatican City did not exist until 1929. The institution behind it, however, is nearly 2,000 years old. The Vatican is essentially the modern political remnant of an institution that began as a religious movement, became intertwined with the Roman Empire, drummed up the First Crusades and Catholic Holy Wars, accumulated vast territory and political authority used to become the sole arbiter of what was and wasn't heresy, lost nearly all of it, and then reinvented itself as a sovereign diplomatic power during the rise of fascism under Benito Mussolini, with the influence that spans globally, from dictatorships in the Middle East and Africa to the Oval Office in the White House. The Vatican is simultaneously all of the following while hiding in plain sight as a simple religious institution. It's a sovereign state, a diplomatic power, a financial institution, an investing network, a global intelligence gathering network, an archive containing 2,000 years of manuscripts, priceless artifacts, and volumes of teachings, and a political organization with extreme global influence.
Yeah, I don't think people realize just how how powerful the Catholic Church is. It's global. It's in every country in terms of its institutional framework. It's responsible for shifting and dictating cultural norms globally. It's a bank. I don't think people realize that. Look up real quick the net worth for the Catholic Church. I mean, its level of influence.
$73 billion. Well, it says the exact global net worth of the Catholic Church is unknown, but partial estimates place its known financial assets at a minimum
That's
of
what's on the books,
73
by the way.
billion. Yeah. Though internet rumors claiming trillions are considered highly speculative and methodologically weak. That is what Google AI would say, though.
Yeah, the Roman, Catholicism, the Catholic Church is basically Rome. So the Roman Empire often would it's like this gobble up territories and just incorporate, those cultures' religious practices into its own and its traditions, just make it all work.
It's like a reverse assimilation, sort of like a top-down.
Yeah. And
assimilation.
it was easier to have cultures assimilate to the Roman Empire by allowing them to keep, their customs and practices. You still see this. So, like down in Bolivia, I remember I went all throughout Bolivia and way up into the Altiplano down near Uyani and places, and they were showing me they're Catholic, but they still practice Pachamama, which is like they'll have blood rituals with llama fetuses and other things too, all like laid out in places under the moon. They have, ceremonies and stuff like that based on astrology with like blood sacrifices, but they're still Catholic. and Catholicism is Rome. It's still doing that practice of just, you can, I guess if you went and asked like a priest somewhere at a church, they'd be like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that or something, maybe. But that's pretty normal around the world. So people still practice their like indigenous culture and their practices and things like that while, saying that they're, Christian or Catholic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does kind of just take the form of like where it's at locally, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Central American Catholicism versus like, I don't know, North American or like East Coast Catholicism or European Catholicism. They all have a different vibe.
For sure. Yeah.
It's really interesting. This is a question. Could their vast archives and occult knowledge have aided them in retaining a 2,000-year-long foothold of power and influence?
Oh,
Cult
absolutely.
connection.
I think they're one of the biggest institutions in the world with hidden secrets in terms of like ancient knowledge. There's a lot of people that seem to think that somehow like all of the different writings and different things from the Library of Alexandria ended up in the Vatican. That the Library of Alexandria was looted before it was burnt. I mean, there's all sorts of speculations as to what's in the Vatican archives.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I've heard it before. There's supposed to be miles and miles and miles worth of underground tunnel systems full of ancient artifacts and writings and books.
Yeah, I just saw a comment. I guess I've got like some clips that we can watch of different things about it from different channels. But I saw a comment of someone saying that I think he said his girlfriend used to work at the Vatican or something, and they have for these underground tunnels that the only part of this tunnel that was guarded was the end of a tunnel. So the question in the comment was like, why would, if it was a dead end, why was that being guarded?
There's a known,
interesting.
and there's pictures available, like room of worship for Lucifer under the Vatican as well.
The Vatican tunnels.
And some Delta boys.
Whoa. Yeah. What is this? Vatican necropolis. It is like the Egyptian influence is super, super interesting. So that obelisk. Wait, okay, I can play this. Let's watch this for a second.
The Egyptian obelisk at the heart of the Vatican. In the center of St. Peter's Square, a towering column of stone rises into the sky. This is the Vatican obelisk, one of the square's most striking monuments, and also one of the oldest symbols still standing in the Vatican today. Yet few people realize that this stone pillar did not originate in Rome, nor was it erected by the church. It came from somewhere far older, from an ancient city on the banks of the Nile, once the center of sun worship in Egyptian civilization, known as Heliopolis. This obelisk is over 3,000 years old. It was originally raised by the Egyptians to honor their gods. It once stood beneath the burning African sun, a silent witness to the solemn processions of pharaohs. But in the 1st century AD, the infamous Roman Emperor Caligula, one of the most brutal and notorious rulers of the empire, ordered the great stone monument to be brought to Rome. He had a special ship built solely to transport the obelisk across the Mediterranean, treating it as a trophy of conquest and a symbol of imperial power. It was erected at the Circo di Nerone, a circus arena where some of the earliest Christians were put to death in brutal public executions. According to historical records, St. Peter himself was executed at this very site, just a few steps from the obelisk. For a long time, the Romans brought Christian believers to this place and executed them in the shadow of the Egyptian stone, a cruel mockery of their faith. Centuries later, as the Circo di Nerone fell into ruin, the ground around the obelisk gradually became a burial site for Christian martyrs. That sacred ground would eventually become the foundation upon which St. Peter's Basilica was built. It was not until the year 1586, under Pope Sixtus V, that the obelisk was moved to its current position at the very center of St. Peter's Square. Relocating a stone that weighed more than 300 tons was a feat of engineering unlike anything the world had seen. Over 900 workers, hundreds of horses, and an elaborate pulley system were mobilized for months to complete the task. Since that moment, the obelisk has no longer stood as a pagan symbol. It became a witness to the enduring faith of Catholicism, a monument to the triumph of Christianity over violence and persecution. Today, thousands of tourists pass through the square, often unaware.
That's crazy.
You know, but there's still so much symbolism within the Catholic Church. You know, there's arguments that are made about that, you know, the Catholic Church just has this outward veneer of Christianity wrapped around it, but inwardly it's actually still, you know, based on sun worship and all these different things. There's so much symbolism, sun symbolism within Catholicism. You know, they're fish hats, like from the Babylonian Dagon god and worship practices.
Fish hats? What? Do I need to look up Catholic fish hats right now? What is that?
Type in Catholic fish hats and see what happens. There you go.
This?
Yeah.
They're little pointy crown things. That's from that angle, I can see why.
Yeah. So then look up.
Does look like a fish.
Look up Dagon. Dagon. Dagon worship. Oh, there's right there. The relief in the top right. The stone.
What?
The stone carving.
In the top right. Oh, right. Literally right here. This one?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Huh. Oh, because it's got a fish hat. So that this literal fish hat man.
Yeah.
Is that where this is inspired by this?
Yes.
So the Pope's hat, dude, look at this illustration. So the Pope's hat is inspired by this
Dagon
Roman
worship, yeah, from Babylon. Yeah, honestly, if you could just go down a rabbit hole of symbolism if you just type in Catholic symbolism.
Huh.
Catholicism is one of the is a thread that if you want to tug on, you'll be at it for a long time.
Well, that's what I want. That's what we're doing right now. We're
ancient religions, ancient sects of worship, and I mean, it's basically a sun cult, like I said, wrapped in a veneer of Christianity.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Unlock more content. No, I don't want to add. Ew. Get out of here.
Sam,
Okay.
what are you doing to our viewers?
Torturing them. I'm being tortured. I just want to read about the fish god.
We're not even getting paid for that advertisement.
Dude. Confronting pseudo-archaeology. Oh, this looks fun. Confronting pseudo-archaeological memes, part 3. Who wrote this? Fish Dibble. What's this? That was such a bad joke. I'm so sorry.
That was so good. Fish Dibble. Dude.
Stupid.
Now
okay.
I just want an AI image of Flint Dibble as a fish and to make a shirt that says Fish Dibble.
But put the hat, put the little hat on him. Put the
yeah.
Give him a little fish head and put his little.
Oh my god.
His little sombrero that he wears. Dagon was a god worshipped in ancient Syria. Is this right? No, that's not right. That's different. This is a different.
No, that's right.
Is it?
The fish god, father. I can't read it though.
Sumerian, Phoenician, Dagon. Okay, well, this was a god worshipped in ancient Syria across the middle of Euphrates, with primary temples located in Tutul and Turka. Though many attestations of his cult come from cities such as Mari and Emar as well. In settlements situated in the upper Euphrates area, he was regarded as the father of gods, similar to Mesopotamian and Enlil or Hurrian Kumarbi, as well as Lord of the Land, God of Prosperity, and a source of royal legitimacy. A large number of theorphic names, both masculine and feminine, attest that he was a popular, I can't speak today, a popular deity. This isn't saying anything about fish god. Fish god interpretation. Okay, so this is a later relevance. Fish god interpretation. The earliest known reference to the fish etymology appears in a 4th century glossary of biblical names attributed to the Christian theologian and translator Jerome, where he interprets the Hebrew name Dagon as the fish of sorrow. That interpretation was followed by 11th century Jewish Bible commentator Rashi, who wrote the idol was made in the form of a fish. In the 13th century, David Kimhi interpreted the odd sentence in Samuel 5:2-7 that only Dagon was left to him to mean only the form of a fish. So this is just years and years of just different interpretations of ancient gods that somehow ended up in the Bible.
Yeah, and now you have
What?
fish hat heads.
It's a weird game of telephone. I guess it's a lot of mythology, though. One person does one interpretation, and then that gets taken somewhere. The etymological evolution of things, I guess, is one way of saying that. I wish we could go back in time and also have it. You know what I really want? I really want that fish thing from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you just shove it in your ear and you can like translate any language. It just translates any language for you.
Yeah, I'd rather have like a Bluetooth headpiece or something, but
You know, you wouldn't want like a slimy little fish that just gets into your brain. I mean, yeah, I guess they do actually make earpieces that just do that. That's true, but not for like.
the fish.
I don't think it could do like ancient lost languages. The fish of translation. I see what you did there. I didn't even notice that I set that up.
We got a deep reference, deep cut here for
Deep cut.
So sorry. Yeah, I mean that's just one thing. That's literally just one thing. One symbol.
One.
And we're already back thousands of years looking at, you know, these gods from other cultures. There's plenty.
Oh, you guys are going. I was so deep in my reading, I didn't even notice all the comments in the chat. This is fun. Eating fish on Friday was rumored to come from the Egyptian Osiris because a fish absconded with his reproductive part while Isis was trying to reassemble his body.
He lost his wiener.
Oh no.
That was the last piece. Yeah. So yeah, the Catholic, you know, going through, you know, if you're it'll be good for us to get this video out from the footage that I have, like it will be 10 years old, but you'll be able to see all this different stuff when we put the video together. But yeah, you know, like if you're into all of this stuff, symbology and different things and throughout cultures from thousands of years and all the different stuff around the world, like walking through the Vatican is just, it's like a museum of that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so this is really us setting up the foundation for the video that we're going to make on this. I mean, there's just so many there's so many angles. There's so many different, like, I mean, have you all seen Oompaville? This is one of my favorite channels. Love this guy. He did a whole video on the insane Vatican conspiracies, rabbit holes, and even like the UFO stuff. Can I play this? This is fun.
Yeah.
I love the UFO
Pope
connection.
Pius XII personally negotiated the transfer of recovered materials to America's Office of Strategic Services, which is the precursor to the CIA, the OSS. This is pre-end of World War II. And that established a secret relationship between Vatican intelligence and the American counterparts in regard to extraterrestrial matters that all continues into this day. So the Vatican is working with the United States of America on ET stuff, you know? Sounds good. Now, if you're wondering what the Vatican said in retort to Grush, I don't know how to say his name, Grusk's claims, Vatican Archives Secretary Marco Grilli publicly denied knowledge of this Mussolini-era incident. But we have to denote that Grilli specifically denied knowledge of where Grush got this information from, not that the information itself was fake. Yes! That's like White House shit. That's White House shit right there, dude.
That is
That means it's real.
Each little section of this video is just different, like, specific conspiracies surrounding the Vatican and Catholicism.
Yeah, Anthony, brings up a good point in the comments about being in the last days being the world church. There's no other church that would just fold in everything else. The Catholic Church would, and they've made moves towards doing that in their behavior from the top down with the Pope. Over the last different popes over the last 10 years or so, positioning themselves to be, like kind of this all-inclusive religion. And that's what their history shows, is just this swallowing up of other cultures and identities and incorporating it into their faith. So while from a doctrinal, is that a word? From a position from doctrine, they may not be on paper okay with this stuff, but in practice, like the example I shared with you from my time down in Bolivia, and other examples that I have from going all throughout Patagonia, that is not how it plays out in practice on the ground around the world. They're very accepting of, and it's very normal for people to consider themselves Catholic while still practicing things that would be considered like pagan practices, pagan rituals, and pagan ideology and stuff like that.
Yeah, or even beyond that. I mean, that's kind of like that contradiction that I was pointing to earlier. I'm gonna read this whole thing from Ian. So the Holy See and the Vatican verbally condemns esoteric and hermetic practices such as divination, alchemy, necromancy, Kabbalah, astrology, demonology, angelology, or general magics and occultisms. Yet they possess the largest and oldest archives of such practices, artifacts, over 80,000 manuscripts and teachings, along with over 75,000 volumes of archival materials spanning these very subjects, most of which were acquired during the Inquisition. Oh my God, my eyeballs. The Inquisitions that decreed all of these subjects and practices as heresy, and those in possession culled without question, and the artifacts captured and stored in their private archives, yes, they still aren't visible to anyone besides high-ranking members of the organization. The obvious contradiction of their condemnation of these practices as heresy is that they are one of only a handful of religious institutions that practices exorcism from demonic possession to this day. There's This not only shows their historical knowledge and belief of other worldly powers existing in antiquity, but that through these secret and intentionally hidden practices, one can either call upon or summon these entities or release one from them. Plainly, it shows the Holy See believes the occult and its entities exist to this day, and only they themselves possess the knowledge to call upon or dispose of them. Many of these practices have been speculated to have been used or to be currently in use by institutions to remain in absolute power. Yet there are endless examples from the occult layout of Washington, D.C., and the symbology used in the creation of the U.S. and its currency and government architecture, the thousands of references in the declassified Epstein files of ritual sacrifice, abuse, cannibalism, to Adolf Hitler's rise to power, and obsession with collecting these occult artifacts from across the globe, including the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, and many other occult manuscripts and artifacts. Like, that sums it up.
Yep. And, it's funny, walking around DC has the same type of vibe. I've been to DC many times, and you know that there's just tunnels everywhere underneath you. A lot of the layout and everything is all based on all kinds of symbology and numerology and stuff, just like there's in the Vatican. Yeah, there's an obelisk in DC, obelisk in New York. There's an obelisk in London. There's obelisks all over the place, and I think that's what makes people really kind of look at Catholicism as like I said earlier, is it's more like a sun cult or something else that's kind of wrapped in a veneer of Christianity. But it's a global organization with influence in every country up to the highest levels. They have spies. They're a bank. They potentially have access to trillions of dollars. They certainly bring in billions of dollars a year just from the churches.
Yeah. And they also are involved in covering up abuse crimes.
Abuse crimes.
Like our government is.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
P-files, networking, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really talk about the Vatican without also bringing that, like, this whole, I think that's why there's so many people, like, it's just one of the more blatant topics surrounding religion, Christianity, Catholicism that people have, because it's like, this is just obviously the most blaring contradiction. It's like, how can you cover up crimes like this and not hold these people accountable when you claim to be a moral compass or the institution to look to for morality, while completely not just turning a blind eye to the crimes that are happening in that establishment, but also like participating in it and continuing the abuse of children, which I think this was saying that there's some laws being passed.
Offices ruled that Bishop Michael W. Fisher erred in the way he went about collecting money from parishes to be used towards a bankruptcy settlement with nearly 900 child sex abuse victims.
Oh, dude, that's nothing. This right here.
What is this?
This is from last year. 300 million they collected 300 million for 1,300 cases of sexual abuse. That was last year. And then
Whoa.
and then this year they collected 800 million. I have a video right here.
For the LDS church?
800 million.
Wow.
This
Oh,
year.
Archdiocese.
How long is this video?
3 weeks ago.
How long is this video?
This video is 3 minutes
Go
long.
ahead, play it.
$800 million to settle claims from 1,300 sex abuse survivors.
Eyewitness News anchor Sandra Bookman is live in the newsroom right now with much more on the proposal and what it means for the survivors and the future of the church.
Do like
Sandra.
1.25
Yeah, Liz,
speed.
this case stems from claims under the Child Victims Act. That legislation, if you recall, was passed back in 2019, and it gave a one-year window for sexual abuse survivors to file civil lawsuits barred by the statute of limitations. This proposal
Which
is the result of
archdiocese?
years-long negotiations, and it is still subject to full survivor agreement before it can be finalized. The proposed settlement comes months after the church sold off valuable properties, laid off staff, and cut its operating budget to come up with the funds. The Catholic Archdiocese of New York has agreed to pay $800 million to settle lawsuits with 1,300 sex abuse survivors, marking one of the largest U.S. clergy abuse payouts.
These negotiations.
Which is, I think they were saying before this too that, I think prior to this that they're using the funds that are being donated to the church and then making these children sign and their families sign NDAs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think the title of this video is "The Vatican is covering up the most evil crime in history." I think we can probably all agree on that.
Yeah. The amount of money that they've paid out for stuff like this is insane. Billions.
But then they just move the priests. They don't, it doesn't, from what I was reading, it doesn't sound like there's much accountability. They just move them to a different church.
Yeah, I think there's a big problem with people who are, I went through this at a certain point in my life of like trying to change my life around and different stuff. And I'm a Christian, and I started going to church and just having this real bad experience at this church that I went to. And it was, people go in there thinking, oh, this person is a pastor or a man of God or a person of faith, right, within a church, and your guard is down, and you think that this person somehow is morally better than other people, and they're not. Sometimes, oftentimes, these types of environments attract predators, and because it puts them in a position of power where people do have their guard down and are more trusting, and it allows them to manipulate that scenario to an even greater degree than they'd be able to do in some like an office place or work environment or whatever, day-to-day stuff. And people tend to let their guard down and be very vulnerable. People will treat people past things like pastors and different stuff like, confidants, counselors, and be as open and honest with them and vulnerable with them as they would with like a trusted loved one because of their position. And yeah, it's a place that's rife for abuse for people that are looking to take advantage of that.
I think that could be said for probably every spiritual or religious institution, though. I mean, you even see it in like new age spiritual circles, and that doesn't even have an institution or it's like
the yoga guy that's touching booty holes.
Exactly. Like the ayahuasca guy who's trying to help you release your yoni chakras or whatever.
Yeah. Seriously though,
It's the same shit.
It's the same shit. These people are just so messed up.
People, like you said, putting their trust in other people as pillars of morality and guidance, and And they just take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why it's so important for people to, yes, ingest, take in information and learn things and all that stuff. But you gotta, you still have to do like a double due diligence, which is to check your sources, like where the information comes from and what's the intent behind it. Making sure things line up on multiple levels across the board. Is this the general consensus across the board? Can you verify things that you're trying to understand from multiple places? Is this being told? I saw this crazy video yesterday of golly, I've seen her on streams and I didn't know that she was like this, turning herself into this religious figure, Apostle Catherine or something. Are you familiar with this person?
No.
Look her up.
Apostle
And so she's doing all these big like
Catherine Crick?
Catherine, I believe.
Oh, I feel like I recognize her face. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so she's popped up.
She looks like a demon.
Yeah.
Bro, what?
So the way that
No, she's scary.
she's like,
Bad vibes.
oh man, like watch some of the videos of her at these events with her followers.
I feel like now that I'm seeing her face.
So I was seeing stuff that was clipped out for a while. For some reason, it was hitting my feed, and I was like, and she was saying stuff that was like, oh yeah, like some of the stuff she was saying was like made sense. It seemed like it was wise stuff, but anybody can clip out like a piece of something that looks good, and you go watch all her stuff, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, like no. A lot of the danger, this is a tactic that was used in World War II and in different wars, was like having planted people in place that, it's like tell the truth 90% of the time, but the 10%, the other 10% is to like lead people off path or off course, right? If you put somebody up into place in a position of power so people are following them, who are working for the other side or whatever, then you can control the opposition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this gives military psyop to me. I mean, that's that putting in a little bit of truth. And then, I mean, I guess like where did the military get it? Like obviously something existing much longer. But this whole wave of like weird that I did see this. I saw a clip of some girl convulsing like she was being healed by this girl. This woman.
Yeah, so she does that stuff where she touches people and they start like the old faith healers, like Benny Hanna or whatever and stuff. What's crazy is I went to one of those way back in the day, and I was just like, this is insane. There's people coming up stage and they're like flinging their jackets around and they were like laying hands on people and they're collapsing and falling out, and I was so happy I went. It was so crazy. I was like, is everybody here just insane? Is this like crazy? Like it was wild.
Belief is a powerful drug.
Yeah. Just full out people collapsing on stage from being touched. It was wild.
Yeah.
He wasn't even touching people. He's just waving his hand, and people like just tens of people at a time were all collapsing.
Like bowling ball pins.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My favorite of that genre of churches is definitely the snake dancing churches. Who the fuck thought of that? Who was the first person to bring a snake in the church and do some like snake what? Do you know? Yeah, it's snake church. What? Why? Where did that come from? That's a
it's from their whole belief system is from the Bible, talking about being able to handle serpents or something. I can't remember the exact scripture, but it talks about being, not being harmed by the serpents and stuff like that.
Mm.
Talking in tongues is kind of weird too. Not kind of, it's very weird.
That's also in the New Age spiritual circles.
Yeah.
But it's rebranded.
So
Now
somebody
it's-
played a
What is it
clip. I
called?
think it was in Africa, and the guy was like talking in tongues on stage, and the person was like, they were recording it and they played it back, and he was in tongues, supposedly in tongues, but then when they played it back and slowed it down, he was doing Hamase, Hamasan, Hamasasan, or whatever. It was from Michael Jackson's song. He was doing that over and over.
He's just doing the Macarena.
Well,
He's
it's
just
Michael Jackson song.
No, I know what
Yeah.
you're referring to. I'm just saying, like that's
yeah.
he just learned how to do the Macarena backwards.
Yeah.
That's so funny. God, see, this is like, I just that's why I enjoy rabbit holes like this, especially because like everything leads back to the occult in some fucking form or another. It's especially with everything that we're seeing right now coming out with the little bit I guess that's come out with like the Epstein files, and as we're just as I think as a culture just becoming collectively more and more aware of these systems that if you to the average person, if you had talked to them about all of this stuff like 10 years ago, it would seem like total myth, not real at all. But now it's like totally acceptable to be in just like like most people, if you're on social media, you are open to having some kind of conversation about these like esoteric and occultist systems that have created the world around us in so many different facets.
I mean, look, the Bible talks about in the end times it just being like, it talks about in the Old Testament the Asherah poles and different stuff and these things that were to gods all over the place. You drive down like every symbol of every major corporation or business in America is a symbol that has some kind of ancient connection, whether it's Starbucks or the McDonald's arches or the chevrons or whatever. Almost everything that you see are on giant poles with ancient symbology all over every city that you go down to. People drive around and they don't realize how much they're being bombarded every day with ancient symbology. All day long, every day. If you live in a city and you go outside in public to do anything from running errands to, whatever, going to the store, if you're doing anything in the city, you're being bombarded with ancient symbology everywhere you go on giant poles all over the city. Not to mention everything that you pick up and interact with has some kind of symbol on it that if you do just a little bit of research, that is some kind of symbol from some ancient religious type of thing or God or something. And you're interacting with it all day long. It's on your TV. It's on every piece of media that you pick up. It's on outside. It's on giant poles and billboards and everywhere that you look. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you just glance over it. You're so inundated with it on a daily basis. People don't even realize that. And they just play it off. Oh, it's just like this cute symbol that they're using for Starbucks. It's like, no, that's like
it's a lot that goes into logo design. Yeah. There's
somebody sat down and figured that out for a long time. And incorporated into their brand for a reason.
Yeah, and you're kind of taught that. Obviously, like my background is in graphic design. I went to school for graphic design. I have designed lots of logos. I learned from people who have designed lots of logos. It's taught in the design process to for that, looking for those sort of inspirations and like deeper meanings of things and create in symbology.
Look, we've had the conversation
part of the whole thing
with the logo for the channel. You want to get everything down to the most simplistic version so that people remember it. My original logo for the channel was like a paw print. It said Wandering Wolf Productions on it, and it had 2 circles, and it was like this thing, and it looked stylistically cool. That's what I went with. But then it was like, this is just too much, and it's being used on a small thing, right? And so it was like, simplify, 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 and kept simplifying it until it was like, let's just be a paw print until, you know, people will just see this and they'll know that it's Wandering Wolf, right? People that are like involved with the channel. It's human psychology to like simplify everything into a thing. If you do any brand research on any type of major brand, Coca-Cola or any type of brand, you'll see that they've just over the years, especially the ones like Coca-Cola that have been around for so long, they've just simplified their product, their logos to these most basic forms. Nike's a great example, all sorts of stuff like that. And, you know, it's the way the human, there's a whole thing based around that way the human brain works for influencing people and their thought patterns, and influencing thought patterns just through symbols without even having to like use words to communicate a feeling, or you start tying all sorts of stuff to symbols through repeated experiences.
That's the whole like mission of marketing in general, is just to get it in front of people as much as possible, to create that repetition, to create an association.
Yeah. I can think of the Coke. I can think of the Coke logo in my head, and I can taste it. I feel how it tastes. If I focus on the symbol for Coca-Cola, I can visual or imagine the drinking a Coke and what that feels like.
Yeah. Our brains are so powerful that actually, I'm glad that like this all ties together what I was going to say. I'm glad you said this. Atheism never looks so good, Bushka Blue, because I disagree. I feel like seeing all of this and seeing the amount of effort that goes into these systems to disconnect us from like God, from within ourselves, is just even more proof to me that like God is real, because there's so much effort that has gone into like historically into putting another man in between you and God. And like whatever God is to you, it doesn't have to be like a Christian God. It's just I just think like that's why I think Catholicism is just like one of the just the obvious things that it's not what they say it is because you have to get to God through a man. You have to get to God through a priest and like confession and all of that. At least that's like maybe my understanding of it. And I don't think that you need another human man person to, I think like I mean even the Bible says like we have our own, like you have a direct connection to God, and God is within all of us. And I think like just even you describing the ability that we have to just imagine things and look at the world that we've created from just imagining things, and kind of what we've been talking about with, you know, creators, like us as creators, creative people, we're able to imagine things and create them. That's to me like that is a source of that is a source from God. And when you're disconnected from that, you don't have as much of an ability to create on your own.
We were just talking about this.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm referencing it.
Yeah. About the that's you know, people that are I think doing good in their lives have the capability to to create. But yeah, no, I there is this struggle to disconnect us through these everything that you just said, through all this symbology and these things we're inundated with every day. And disconnect us and make us feel kind of I think that makes you feel lost and alone often.
Yeah.
which I don't think we're designed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand the feeling of why it would make like I understand why all of this makes people more atheists, and I understand like seeing the amount of effort that goes into like using spirituality and religion as a form of control. Um, I could see how that would make you reject it entirely. Like I totally understand that perspective, but you when I, realize that it's like it's man doing that and not the spiritual experience or the connection to God on its own, like I've had too many experiences that I can't explain that have just been in like otherworldly, divine, whatever you want to call it, like something. I've had too many ineffable experiences. I've had too many things that can't be explained, and like there's such a clear communication through signs and just the world around us that like there is something else out there that's communicating with us, and you just have to like be open to it. Um, and no man can like control, no other human person can like control that or stop that experience. And that's why I think there is so much effort that what the heck that goes into controlling that narrative and these systems of, like what the Vatican is, what our government is, all of these things, these systems of control are meant to like disconnect you from that direct connection to this like ineffable realm that I think we're all inherently connected to.
I'm with you on that. And it's for me, it was like that experience that I referenced earlier with the church, just having this horrible experience within the church when I first went. And it drove me away from the church for a long time and any kind of faith or belief in things. And what I ended up realizing eventually was like, these were people doing that. It wasn't, overlaying their actions onto as a representation of like how God was treating me or something like that was not factual, right? Like it was, people suck. People can suck. And they do use, it's like we were talking about a minute ago, they oftentimes use religion to take advantage of people because it's such an easy space to do that. People are so vulnerable when they come into a church or a place with their, feeling very lost. A lot of times people who are, coming to religion or church or different things like that, or trying to find some sense of faith, are really in a lost state with whatever they may be going through. So they can be very vulnerable, and people take advantage of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think the people that are the ones taking advantage of that are completely disconnected from that source. So it's like that's
Right.
not like, if you're looking at it through a Christian lens, that could be that could be a demon. That could be a person being controlled by a demon. Like that could be, or if you're looking at it through, you could look at that through so many other like philosophical lenses or religious based lenses.
Yeah. It's a
spiritual
demon.
lenses. It's a demon. Like that lady. Like this lady right here. Look at that fucking face, dude. She's giving the Kenneth Cope. What is that? What is up with that Kenneth Cope?
Yo, that
Like,
guy is definitely got a demon in him. Dude, click on that one, that picture right there. Yeah, dude, that guy is insane. Look, the one he's smiling down below it on the right. Dude,
possessed.
His eyes.
That man is possessed by a demon for sure.
That guy makes all these like slip ups all the time.
Look at
too.
that. That's terrifying. That's not real. That's crazy.
That's from like a reporter stopped him as he was getting into a vehicle and asking him about why he has a private plane, why he has his own private jet.
I've seen this.
If you look up this guy's got just this massive palatial house or whatever, and it's filed as a piece of as a property of the piece of the church, so he doesn't even have to pay taxes on it.
He is the
But he
wealth. I
lives
didn't
there.
know.
Huh?
I didn't know he was the wealthiest pastor in the United. This fucking guy. His estimated net worth is from 300 million to over 750 million. So it's probably even more than that.
Yeah, a lot of these pastors, these prosperity preachers, oof,
Crazy.
taking advantage of like the most, like, vulnerable people out there.
Yeah, but then you have this guy, the religion, this who I played the video from earlier. Have you seen him? You recognize him?
No.
I can't remember his name, but I know his Nathan Apfel from his Instagram is religion business. I mean, he's just been calling all this stuff out. He's been going to all of these mega churches, recording them. He's been getting like arrested like by the police that these mega churches keep on like, or, by the security that these mega churches keep on staff. Like they, as soon as he shows up, they just like kick him out because, I mean, he's just been going around exposing all of these people and how much they're taking advantage of the system, and just like the stats around it are so crazy. The amount of non-taxed religious organizations that there were 40 years ago compared to now, it's extreme like jump. So yeah, I think I feel like it's obviously what I think the Vatican represents is just expanded into so many different facets of society. But that's why I love diving into this stuff, even though part of it is fucking dark, like y'all were saying in the comments. I think it's, I don't know, I guess it's good to know. Sometimes I wrestle with like, what is the point of knowing all these things what am I going to do with all this knowledge? Besides just be aware of it. I can't do anything. I don't know. But I'm happy we get to talk about it and have y'all join us and talk about it and learn about these things. I mean, I feel like most of us, if you're in the chat and you're watching us, you probably already know all these things. I doubt, like, inherently. I mean, I learned some things today. There are some facts.
Yeah, you didn't know about fish heads.
I didn't know about fish heads. Did not know about fish heads. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to wrap things up? How are we feeling?
Yeah, let's wrap things up. Maybe we get into symbology next time. That's actually a pretty good one.
That'd be fun.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
A nice. Oh, we went an hour and a half. We were going to try to keep it in an hour today, but we did an hour and a half. You guys are wonderful coming and hanging out with us for an hour and a half.
Whole hour and a half.
Hey, man.
Yay.
Wrestling is real, okay? Can't see me.
What?
That's John Cena. But yeah.
Jose. Oh, hi, Jose. We still have half an hour left. No. I'm gonna go outside and play in the river. I'm gonna go be a river rat today.
Yeah. I might take a nap.
Opposite.
Old. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
See y'all next week. Thank you, Trish. Bye, Trish. Bye, everyone. Bye, Richard. Bye, Shaman. Bye, Taco. Bye, Anthony. All right. Hi, guys.